This is Let's Talk Real Estate with Corina Cisneros on 101.5 WEEI Sports Radio Lakes Region. Once again, here's Corina.
Okay, and we are back. Robin, Managing Director of Hudkins Title and Settlement. What are some of the trends out there that you are seeing at the closing table, Robin?
Corina, a big trend we're seeing are purchases by unmarried couples.
Okay.
Unmarried couples buying together.
Tell us more about that.
At Hudkins Title and Settlement and Hudkins Law, we celebrate all relationships and unions, and we've noticed a huge trend where unmarried couples are purchasing real estate and new homes together.
Okay, why could that be an issue, Jackie?
It's all lovely to see this happening at the closing table, but what some folks don't consider is how do they unwind the transaction when they want to sell? So how would one recoup their initial investment or the carrying costs of the property in an amicable sale or a split, or what's worse, how do you divide the property if the relationship ends badly?
It's a tough situation. You know, when we get married or we buy property together, we don't want to think about when things have to fall apart, right? So what's the best practice if two people who are not married would like to buy something together?
We recommend to our unmarried couples that they explore a joint ownership agreement. So it's a fairly basic agreement that can outline such things as how our maintenance and expenses handled with the property, but also what happens when someone wants to leave. And then, of course, dealing with the unexpected passing of one party because the other owner may suddenly find themselves co-owning a property with an estate or with other individuals that they did not intend to own the property with.
Whose responsibility do you think would be to broach this subject? Let's say I get a buyer, Corina, show us some homes. How is that topic best introduced? Does the realtor introduce it, talk to your title company, or just contact them and then it's up to you to introduce that topic? How does that work?
So this is something that usually a realtor would bring to our attention when they introduce a client to us, and we'd be delighted to handle an introductory call which we do with all of our clients right at the beginning of the process. And these are tough topics to raise, but we know how important they are, so we address them in great detail, and we get people thinking about these issues before they close.
Okay, so I can imagine that there are advantages of setting all these rules ahead of time, right? When things fall apart or somebody wants to sell. What could go wrong if these aren't in place? You know, what can you share with our audience so that our audience can learn what kind of things could happen if we don't talk about these things?
Well, if there's not agreement in place ahead of time, one issue that we have is the unexpected passing of one party. So when that happens, depending on what the form of ownership was on the title, the surviving owner may suddenly find themselves having to deal with a messy and complicated and expensive probate situation and may ultimately be a co-owner with parties that he or she did not intend.
So Jackie, there are rules for married couples, rules for businesses. And you're telling us that people who are not married, who are together buying property, they should also have certain rules.
That's right. When married couples purchase property together and then are divorced, they see a marital master or a judge. They have a divorce decree. It clearly outlines and defines how the property is going to be divided. Likewise, when people are in business together, they have an operating agreement to turn to that clearly describes how the property is going to be divided. But when people are in a relationship and they simply break up, it is the Wild West. There are no rules and there is no document to turn to.
Okay, well, so what Jackie is saying is very important. Do you have an example you can share with our listeners?
I do.
About how things could have been prevented?
Absolutely. There was a situation, and I was involved in this closing, a lovely closing of an unmarried couple.
So in other words, two unmarried couples were buying a piece of property.
Correct.
And that went really nice.
It was amazing.
Okay.
Everyone was happy. 2 years later,
yes,
they had a very messy breakup.
Okay, and that's probably because, well, they had all breakups probably are messy.
Right.
But when you own property together,
correct.
If the rules weren't put in place before, it can get even messier, right?
Even messier. In this particular sale, One of the buyers brought $25,000 to the table as a down payment.
Yes.
The other did not. And when it came time to close, he wanted his $25,000 that he put into the purchase of the property back. And without an agreement, that did not happen.
Okay. All right. So the moral of the story is, ladies and gentlemen, if you are buying property with your loved one and you don't have the ground rules for the exit, call somebody who can help you. In this case, call Hudkins Title and Settlement, or call Jackie Hudkins. They are experienced. They've been in business for 13 years, and they're here to help you. Well, thank you very much, ladies, for being on the show. It's a pleasure. And will you come back?
Absolutely. We can't wait.
Okay, good. It's always a pleasure to have such brilliant minds to share useful information for future homeowners, buyers, and sellers. Thank you again.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, join me next Saturday morning at 8:30 a.m. for another episode of Let's Talk Real Estate. And if you or someone you know is looking to purchase a new home or sell, please contact me at 603-273-6160. You can also find me on Facebook, YouTube, or on our website at nhlakeshomes.com. And remember, mi casa es su casa. And my name is Corina, like the song Corina, Corina. Until next week, play my song.
Corina, 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 I love you so.
Let's Talk Real Estate is presented by the Cisneros Realty Group, powered by eXp Realty, and sponsored by Hudkins Law, Title and Settlement Services, and Dana Gunnarsson, agent at the Joe Suazo Allstate Insurance Office in Gary, New Hampshire. Let's Talk Real Estate is a production of Modern Media LLC, CRG TV, and MR Strategic Alliance LLC, all rights reserved. Join us every Saturday morning at 8:30 and Let's Talk Real Estate with Corina Cisneros on WEEI 101.5 Sports Radio Lakes Region.